I got a call from my husband, who had been lying to me about working on weekends and going on an important business trip at the end of the year. He had the audacity to completely sell me down the river as he went on a trip riddled with adultery. I suppose his plan was to live with the woman whom he cheated on me with in our house that I cleaned up. That's not going to happen, not on my goddamn watch. Now is the time to confront him with the beautiful, brutal truth. You hurt me and your family, darling, and now your story will turn bleak, desperate, and completely pathetic. My name is Unity, and I'm a 52-year-old housewife. My husband Ryan works for a large company that's successful in the industry of toilets. Yes, it's a strange business, but if you think about it, I'm sure you'd agree that it's also an extremely important business. Ryan works in the department of sales in a larger branch of the conglomerate, and the money he makes is decent enough to pay for a nice improvement to his family home. He turned 60 last year and was going to retire when the century started another chapter. We used to live with my in-laws at the D'Amelio family home, and I'm busy taking care of them and doing housework every day. My in-laws are still in good health, even though they are getting older, and they only help take care of cleaning some parts of the house and the laundry. Ryan and I have 3 children, a son and 2 daughters, but they are all married and live far away from us. I was looking forward to Ryan's retirement, thinking that he would be able to finally relax and we would be able to live as a happy family. He started to have a lot of extra assignments, which resulted in a lot of extra hours even on the weekends. Ryan worked a lot of extra hours, even mere foxtrots away from retirement, and he was the one on the road most weekends. I had no doubt that Ryan was paying back one last debt of gratitude to the company that he worked at for so many years. However, I never could have imagined that this was actually so ridiculously far from the truth, and later I found out that this was a complete lie on Ryan's part. Everything began with a fateful incident involving Mr. D'Amelio, my father-in-law. One day, just before the new year, Mr. D'Amelio had awoken from his midday nap after his lunchtime walk and was walking down the stairs. He was still a very sprightly man despite being the ripe old age of 87, and he was always confident in how fit his body was. However, that confidence was to become his bane that day because near the top of the stairs, he lost his footing and tumbled down the stairs. I heard the loud sounds echoing throughout the house, and when I rushed to his aid and I beheld the sight of his broken leg, he was rushed to the hospital and was instructed to stay hospitalized for a while. Ryan was furious, saying that his father's injury was all my fault.
You're responsible for the house. What the hell do you think you're doing? Wait, no. I didn't do anything myself. Shut the hell up. I now know you're not fit to be a good freaking housewife. You don't deserve to be in this house.
What do you mean, not fit to be a good housewife? What are you trying to say?
You want me to give it to you straight? I'm saying I'm thinking of divorcing you. If you don't like that idea, you take better freaking care of the house.
Divorce? You can't be serious.
That's what's going to happen if you don't do something to change things around here.
I was surprised by my husband's anger, which was supposedly triggered by Mr. D'Amelio's injury. My father-in-law himself was genuinely injured, but was still conscious. He got very worried when he heard that his son, my husband, had aggressively suggested a divorce.
Unity, my dear, you're doing such a great job around the house, and we couldn't be more happy to have you with us. Did Ryan really say such terrible things to you all because I broke my leg? I can't believe my own son could do such nonsense. I'm so sorry, my dear.
No, it's not your fault, sir. Ryan only said that because he's worried about you, that's all.
Strange that he never comes to visit his old man, though.
He's just busy with work, Father Carlos. I just know that he'll visit you when he can spare some time. I was also in disbelief that my husband, who was so angry about his father's situation that he practically demanded a divorce and didn't come to see him at all, showing no concern whatsoever in person. Not long after that, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with dementia. Miss D'Amelio had always had a slight degree of dementia, but it was nothing more than simple forgetfulness of dates and where she put her cup of coffee or something like that, and it didn't interfere with her life. But when her husband was hospitalized, she naturally became more anxious and depressed and became more withdrawn and unable to speak much all day. I was exhausted, both physically and mentally, from the family troubles that just kept on happening one after the other. I now had to take good constant care of my in-laws, one with dementia and one that was in the hospital. And meanwhile, my husband, their son, continues to work overtime and go on business trips, and the number of days he doesn't come home just started increasing. Ryan, it's really hard for me to take care of your parents by myself. I need you to help me in your spare time from work.
It's your responsibility to take care of the damn house, Unity. Why the frick do I have to help you around? Was this clearly your place to be?
Don't talk to me like that, Ryan D'Amelio. They're your parents, for crying out loud.
And I have a freaking job to do. How many times do I have to tell you?
Well, if you won't help, then you need to consider hiring some help around here.
What the hell? Well, goddamn, you're a lazy housewife. I'm freaking divorcing you.
What the hell is the matter with you? If you can keep talking about divorce, who will take care of your parents, huh? Divorce obviously means I'll be kicked out of your home, and since you're so busy all the time, and you refuse to hire helpers, and you won't put them in a nursing home, who is going to give them the care that they need,
Well, that's...
Yeah, you don't have a comeback for that, do you? Do you have a couple of screws loose or something? Is this a Yuletide spirit giving you a bit too much eggnog for your head to handle? You blame me all the time for your parents' problems, and you threaten me with divorce, and you never even thought about how your parents are going to survive. All this bullshit about you divorcing me has got to stop for your family's sake. Do you even know what a divorce actually means? I was so tired and irritated that I spoke up strongly to my husband. Ryan was quiet for a long time after I said my piece.
Fine. Do whatever the frick you want, but I'm telling you right now, it's none of my damn business, and you'll have to do all the paperwork.
I was disappointed that he wasn't even willing to help me with the housework at all, and I began to worry about taking care of my aging in-laws in the future. But Mr. D'Amelio, who could only imagine how busy I was around the house, did me the huge favor of applying for helpers, finally, and for a daycare facility for his wife.
Unity, you know you don't have to shoulder everything alone. I'm sure Mrs. D'Amelio will get better if she spends some time at a daycare center instead of being trapped at home all day.
No, I'm sorry that I'm just not capable enough to help you and Mother Lucia with all of this. I'm so sorry.
Oh, nonsense, my dear. We're all so grateful to you, Unity. Remember that. I admit I don't think I'll be able to walk right after I get out of the hospital, and I believe it's time to rethink my retirement.
What are you going to do about it?
Well, my wife and I have been discussing it for a while.
After that, my mother-in-law started going to a daycare, and her dementia symptoms started to improve little by little. Hey, you're looking good nowadays, Mother Lucia. Look at the twinkling in your eyes, and you're smiling so much. You're doing really good, aren't you? What are you talking about, my dear? I'm always in good spirits. While I was visiting my father-in-law in the hospital, a helper took care of the housework at home, so my workload became much lighter. And my mother-in-law is now able to spend a little time alone at home, and my worries have finally decreased, like substantially decreased. More recently, however, my mother-in-law started to say some really strange things. Ryan is going to have a new bride. She's coming, my dear, and she's a thief, so make sure you hide all your valuables before she comes and takes it. A new wife? Mother Lucia, I'm still Ryan's wife. He's not having a new wife. It's me, Unity. Remember me? Unity? Unity! Oh, is that right? I'm sorry, my dear. I thought it was just another symptom of her dementia, and I tried not to worry about it too much. One day before the end of the year, I was at home during a rare day off with Ryan, and if my memory hasn't failed me yet, I believe that was the first real day off he's had in over 3 months. I had been at my father-in-law's hospital that morning, so I came home in the afternoon. No sooner had I closed the front door, Ryan told me that he needed to talk to me.
Dad's still in the hospital for a while, right?
What? Oh, yeah, he is, but I heard he's going to be discharged soon.
No, let him stay in the hospital for a while. And Mom, she's completely lost her mind, hasn't she?
What are you talking about? She's doing fine, Ryan. Her dementia's improving.
Put her in a nursing home.
Wait, what? My husband said something so out of the blue that I was at a loss for words.
All right. I'm assuming you understand English perfectly, so you get on with it and do as I say. Also, you better clean up this house.
Clean the house? The whole house? What's going on?
It's the end of the year. It's only natural, ain't it? What's your problem?
What's my problem? Okay, I've had it up to here. It's over, Ryan. I'm done. I'm done talking to you. I was about to wreak havoc at this piece of shit man that I married when Miss D'Amelio came into the room. The thief is coming! Ryan, why are you bringing that thief in here? How could you? Oh, Mother Lucia, it's nothing, dear. It's nothing at all. Just, let's go back inside. I glared at my husband as I tried to calm down my mother-in-law, and she looked like she was about to cry. I'm curious as to what you believe really is a family, Ryan. What do you think you're doing to your own parents? Your own mother is now very fragile without her family by her side. What's the point of cleaning the house if it's only going to drive them out, huh? If you want the house clean, do it yourself!
You're the one who hired helpers and skips out on the housework. It's your frickin' role to clean the house at least.
You're home for the New Year holidays too, so why don't you pick up a broom and start helping clean up for freaking once?
I'll not have that freaking language come out of you in front of my beloved mother. And also, I'm working during New Year's. I'm going on a business trip.
Another business trip during the New Year holiday? Are you serious? Is there a company that does such a thing? As soon as my husband noticed that I had started to doubt him, he started to lose his temper even more.
I'm freaking divorcing you. I should have done it sooner, damn it. I'm getting a second chance at life.
And with that, he stormed out of the room, his footsteps rattling everything in the house. I was stunned by his irrational argument, and Mother Lucia was still mumbling something. She's a thief. His new wife is a thief. Mother Lucia, oh, how about we take a rest now, okay? Let's take our medicine. I'll help you. After I let my mother-in-law rest, I remembered Ryan's ridiculous outburst. Everything he's been saying was all within the category of batshit crazy. And I've been so busy lately that I hadn't had really time to just sit down and think and process what he was saying. And I always assumed that he was saying such things in order to harass me into doing things his way. But ever since he suddenly demanded a divorce and tried to get his parents out of the house, he'd been coming home so late and traveling on business so much. And he was supposedly traveling on business again, even though it was the holiday season. And I started to realize that he was hiding something from me. Could it be an affair? Was he planning to remarry this woman? Was he planning to remarry a woman that he was cheating on me with? And was all of this assumption that I had in my gut right? Then I remembered something that would ultimately change everything. After my mother-in-law developed dementia, I installed a monitor camera at the recommendation of one of the helpers. It was to make sure she was safe when I was away shopping or on some other errands, and the footage was directly feeding into an app on my phone. I didn't tell my husband about the cameras, so there was no way he would know they were installed. So I chose a time when I was not home and I played back the recordings. And what I discovered did not surprise me by this point. The camera had caught Ryan having an affair with a woman I didn't know. Ryan just let this woman in our house while I was away, and Mother Lucia was in the house, and she sometimes even sat on the same couch as they did. I can't believe these two cheaters thought that because of her dementia that she would not be able to realize what was going on in front of her. And he let her inside without a care in the world. This video showed my mother-in-law looking at the two of them with genuine concern. The woman with whom he was having an affair with yelled things at my mother-in-law, and they were nasty enough for me to refrain from mentioning them to you. Mother Lucia covered her face with her hands and just looked so scared. All those things she kept telling me, the new wife, that thief, that's what she was talking about, and I was trembling with anger. How could Ryan have done this? The D'Amelios only had one child, and he downright neglected his family completely, and my husband had deliberately cheated on me. This was absolutely unforgivable, and I vowed I would never let him get away with this. The next day, I decided to confide in my father-in-law in private about what happened. And my father-in-law, Carlos' face grew even dark and ever concerned, and also sad. And it was heart-wrenching to see this elderly man, feel this way, especially because he was still in a cast. And with a deep, quiet voice, he asked me,
So, what are you going to do, Unity?
I'm just thinking I have no choice but to divorce your son. I'm sorry, Father Carlos. Considering he had repeatedly confronted me about divorce, it's the only logical option right now.
I see. And I'm sure you will do things splendidly, as you always do. If I were in your shoes, dear, that's what I'd do too. I'm sorry, my dear. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Father Carlos, please don't. You did nothing wrong at all. And I swear to you, you've only done good to me. I'm just worried about Mother Lucia. If we were all kicked out of that house, I don't know what we could do. I couldn't believe that the woman with whom my husband was having an affair with would take good care of Mother Lucia. And after seeing that raw footage of all that verbal abuse, and Ryan was no better, he had the audacity to be certain his own mother wouldn't understand what was going on. I told Father Carlos I was worried about my mother-in-law, and he said,
Don't worry about us. We're going to take care of ourselves, but I'm afraid we're going to have to accelerate our plans.
What plans? Your plans? What plans do you have?
Unity, I'm sorry to trouble you, but I'm going to need a little more of your help.
Of course, anything I can do for you, I'll do my best. My father-in-law decided to sell the house and the land, and he moved in with my mother-in-law into a nursing home. He instructed me to complete all of the procedures within the year. And of course, I was to do this without telling Ryan, but that was so blatantly obvious. And now, he and the woman whom he was having an affair with would not be able to live in that house anymore, because it's been sold off to the city, and they were without a home now. And I couldn't wait to hear his voice when he realized everything. My husband went on a business trip at the end of the year, unknowing of the hell that was awaiting him when he returned. I had already checked with his company as I was taking care of the paperwork and discovered that there was no such business trip. He had faked all of his business trips so he can be cheating on me with that woman. And the identity of the woman whom he was having an affair with also didn't stay a secret very long. The woman was stupid enough to still be wearing her employee ID card at our house, and the surveillance camera had recorded her name all in 4K. Granted, the name was a little bit hard to read at first because she kept covering it. But all I had to do was pause the evidence at the correct moment, and I can see her name clear as day. Her name was Mira Quinn, and it was an on-the-job affair, so I sent the certified letter to her job demanding alimony from Miss Quinn. And she should be getting a nice call from her Human Resources Department right when the holiday season ends. On the day my husband returned from his trip, I received a phone call.
Have you finished cleaning up the house? You make sure it's freaking spotless by the beginning of the year, and you get your incompetent ass out by the time I get back, all right? We're freaking finished, and I'm divorcing you.
He had the audacity to completely send me down the river as he went on a trip riddled with adultery. I suppose his plan was to live with the woman whom he cheated on me with in our house that I cleaned up, and that's not going to happen, not on my goddamn watch. Now is the time to confront him with the beautiful, brutal truth. You hurt me and your family, darling, and now your story will turn bleak, desperate, and completely pathetic. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, Ryan, but the house is gone. It's completely gone.
What the frick?
Oh, don't believe me? Well, then go home and see for yourself. See if they let you in. I said that and hung up the phone. Fast forward a couple of hours later, my husband called me again.
Hey, there's a for sale sign in front of our house. What the frick is going on here?
And then I heard the voice of another woman on the other end of the line.
What the hell does this mean, Ryan? I thought we were gonna live in that house.
Hey, keep it down. It's nothing. I'll take care of it. How the hell did this happen?
I was so satisfied to hear my husband and Quinn with such a panic. Oh, I needed this feeling so bad, let me tell you. You really don't know how this happened, even though you brought this whole thing on yourself? Well, damn. Are you sure you're not starting to get dementia too, old man? Well, guess what, you goddamn traitor. How dare you betray me? I'm divorcing you, you hear me?
Cheater? What are you talking about? Calm down, honey.
Oh, I'm completely calm, Mr. D'Amelio. And tell that woman over there behind you, yeah, the one you're cheating on me with, you tell her that she's also gonna have a horrible time when she goes back to work tomorrow. And I'm going to demand alimony.
What the hell? Wait. Let me explain here.
I'll have my lawyer take care of the rest, so don't call me directly anymore. It's been a nice, long ride, Ryan, but sadly, all things must come to an end, one way or the other. Goodbye. I ended my relationship with my husband right there and then. I divorced my husband and filed for alimony against him and Quinn. Ryan had initially planned to get an advance loan from his retirement payments to pay for the alimony demanded from him and from his lover. However, when he discovered he had a smaller severance package than he had initially expected, he resorted to placing himself in debt. And my husband's parents broke their ties with him, and with nowhere else to go, he moved into the apartment with Quinn. He now works part-time, day and night, without any hope of stopping soon at his old age. And ironically, he seems to be busier now than ever after retirement. Quinn was forced to voluntarily resign from her job after her company found out about the affair with him, and she eventually ran away from her debt-ridden old 60-year-old lover after the quarreling knew no end. Who didn't see that coming? As for me, I am now a licensed caregiver, and I work at the facility where my in-laws are now living. My children were surprised to learn that their parents had divorced, and they were worried about me losing my home. But since the facility has dormitories for employees, I decided to stay there and try to become more independent without relying on my children. Father Carlo's injury healed completely, and after some rehabilitation, he started to walk again. And Mother Lucia's dementia is getting better and better every day as I take care of her alongside my father-in-law. And now she enjoys knitting for me and her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. And she is now also recently interested in taking Tai Chi. All in all, it was not the second life any of us had expected, but I can say on behalf of my in-laws that we couldn't be any more happier with the way things are going. My goal now is to give the D'Amelios, as well as the elderly residents here, a very nice retirement and provide enough for myself to remain independent even after I retire. Wish us luck, everyone.